So let's talk about money that you need to purchase a home. This kind of goes a little bit more towards first-time home buyers, people who are not generally knowledgeable about what you need to do to buy a house. A lot of people that are buying their second, third houses and all of that generally have money set aside, generally have enough equity in another property, that kind of thing. So this is geared more towards people that you're not quite sure where to start and what kind of money to save. We tell you many, many times that you do not need 20% down, which you do not. FHA allows you to have 3.5% down. And of that 3.5%, it can be a gift from a family member. You can also get grants and things that help you with that. So if you kind of think in your head, let's make sure we have 3.5%. So if you're looking, at a certain priced house, take 3.5%, and that would be your down payment. So you don't want to. A lot of people do. They use every dime they have to get into the house. But a smarter way to kind of think about that is if you've got your 3.5%, then you're going to need your closing costs, which are generally about 3 to 5% of the purchase price. And again, that can be a gift. It can be something the seller can pay if you write it in your contract that way. But just to think about cash, do the 3.5%, do an additional 3 to 5%, and that would be the amount of money you would need to get into your home to purchase your home. A lot of people have 10% down and they say, I want to put the whole 10% down. And sometimes they have credit issues or things like that. And another thing to do instead of putting 10% down is maybe put the 3.5% down and then take the other 6.5% or whatever it is and hold it aside. What we call reserves. Put it in your bank account, and that can also be your rainy day fund in case something happens to your house. Again, when you're going from renting to buying, when you're renting, your air conditioner goes out, you're calling the landlord. The refrigerator doesn't work, you're calling the landlord. Something gets flooded, you're calling the landlord. When you buy a house, you are the landlord. You do now own it. So there's nobody to call except for the person who's going to fix it. And then you're going to want to call them to get an idea of how much it is to fix. So you should always try to have a couple of months in reserves if you can. Again, I'm not telling you don't use all your money to buy the house. Definitely get the house if that's what you need to do. But after the fact, set realistic goals as to how much money I can put away every month to make sure I have a reserve fund in case of emergencies, in case something breaks in the house and we have to fix it. Because let's face it, if your air conditioner goes out in July or August, you're going to want your air conditioner fixed. And that's probably when it's going to cost the most to fix it. So, and that kind of goes back to other videos we've done where every year at the beginning of the year you want to check your AC and make sure it's all cleaned out and everything works, so that you're not doing that in July and August. Ways to save some money. Again, maybe don't pay off your credit cards every month. Maybe pay half and put half set aside. So those are ways to kind of, again, build that emergency fund in case you need something in order to fix it. You're going to need the money to do that. So a lot of underwriters will look at, again, say you have a credit issue, a lot of underwriters will look at the fact that if you put 3.5% down and you have another 6.5%, 7% in your account, that's, 2 to 3 months of reserves. They like reserves. They like you having that account. It could be the difference to whether you're approved or not approved. And again, those are things that you don't need to worry about. That's how I'm going to structure your loan. Again, it's that puzzle. We're going to put it all together and I'm going to make sure all the pieces fit to get you approved the best way we can get you approved. So a lot of people ask me, is it better to save some money and not buy a house till this or not do that? It's really more of a preference for you. There's no you should do, you shouldn't do, but a good feeling and a good thing that will help your heart and keep you not stressed is that, yes, you do have a little bit of money set aside to help fix anything that may happen. So if you've got any questions about saving money, any questions about grants, any questions about getting ready to get into a house and getting pre-qualified and finding out what you are approved for, give me a call. Dawn Hall, Van Dyke Mortgage, 239-789-7561. Your lender for life.